Welcome to the A-level Telekilaas sessions. I am Subramanian, teaching at Ahmadiyya School as a maths teacher and head of the department. Today we will be dealing with IL Mathematics Pure Mathematics 1, the first paper, the first unit. We will be working out some more ideas regarding the coordinate geometry areas, the learning objectives, at the same time the question pattern, styles, how to answer, what are the skills needed, everything we will be trying to revise. Basically it has been taught to you all of us. Since this is a revision time, we will try to catch up with some points. Learning objectives: calculating the gradient of a line joining a pair of points. This has been an old content which you learned in your O level. Understand the link between the equation of a line and its gradient. That is also a known content. Find the equation of line. To some extent you know about that in O level. Of a given gradient and passing through one point. Equation of line passing through one point. At the same time equation of line passing through 2 points. How to handle both stuff. Know and use the rules of parallel and perpendicular lines. To some extent you may know regarding the parallel lines in your O level, but perpendicular lines you may not be. Then finding the point of intersection for a pair of straight lines. That is basically a content which you have done in your quadratics, chapter 2. Solve the length and area problems. Especially the area problems is most demanding questions in the papers, and students have been asking regarding how to handle those area problems on the coordinate grids. So that's the key ideas. And then the formulas used in this chapter, I just try to revise that content. Distance between the 2 points, you already learned it, square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square and plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Midpoint of a line joining 2 points, that is x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2, that is also a known content. Gradient of a line joining 2 points, that is also a learned content only. Equation of a line, gradient m passing through a point x1, y1, that is y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. This content is basically a new content for you, passing through a point. The ideology is, for example, take about a line and a point is x1, y1 and the gradient is m. So how could I find the equation of line? That is that content basically, that we will discuss about that. Regarding the known concepts, the gradient part and the straight line, we will try to catch up some. You see the gradient of the straight line works like this. You see the line is there, 2 points have been taken, and this is x1, y1, that is x2, y2. The gradient works as y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Change in y and change in x. The detailed content you have been learning in a differentiation chapter also. And one more thing, the new word. Most of you known about the gradient of a straight line word, but the slope of a line, some of us may not know. Note that slope and gradient both refers to the same stuff. You could see the concept of the line. So y is equal to mx plus c, some of us will do, y is equal to mx plus b, will do that, and you could note down the 2 is that is actually the y-intercept where the line cuts the y-axis, and the gradient is 3, roughly it has been worked here. And then the equation format. Children, you need to read the questions carefully regarding the format of the questions also. Most of the people even in the exams basically may forget to write about the format which has been asked in the paper. There are 3 formats. Y is equal to mx plus c, that is a known content to you. But ax plus by plus c equal to 0 or ax plus by is equal to c, which is a new one. Note that they have mentioned a, b, c are integers. It is not that rational numbers or whatever it is you could share, but if it is mentioned as integers, we need to show in integers format only. Rough sketch of different lines. So, line with a positive gradient, line with a negative gradient. How do we differentiate between? One important point, any coordinate geometry questions, it is better for you to know how to sketch the lines. That would be a huge advantage for you guys in later stages. So, positive gradient, negative gradient in the sense, if you talk about a line like moving towards the right hand side, take about these two things, two lines, y axis, x axis. Here the gradient is always positive, here the gradient is always negative. That's how we can differentiate between the positive gradient and negative gradient. Then line parallel to x axis, you know that line parallel to the x axis like this, it is actually y is equal to k. Line parallel to the y axis, that is x is equal to k. Then line passing through the origin, there are two formats. Look at that, here the y-intercept is not there. So, in that case, if you take about say, let us say y is equal to 3x and y is equal to minus 5x, both are referring to this format only. Here is a positive gradient, here is a negative gradient. So, and then the y-intercepts are 0 there. So, the line would be y is equal to 3x, positive gradient, that is the negative gradient. Here the gradient is minus 5, here the gradient is plus 3. So, hope that that content is not clear to you. One more thing, I was talking about the sketching lines. How can we have a clear idea regarding the different sketch? Remember, the equation of line format should be in y is equal to mx plus c form when you are working out. Let us take 4 examples. Y is equal to 4x plus 8, y is equal to 4x minus 8, and y is equal to minus 4x plus 8, y is equal to minus 4x minus 8. I have taken 4 examples. All the 4 examples, the numbers used are same, irrespective of the plus and minus sign. Okay. Here the positive, both are positive gradient and y-intercept is plus 8 and minus 8 here. So, how do we start to sketch? Always start to sketch up with the y-intercept, that is easy. Here the y-intercept is, the first part is 8, right? Draw the x and y axis. Y-intercept is 8. I fix a point, then the gradient is positive. So, the line would be like this. So, this is 0, 8. When you equate at x axis, that is 4x plus 8 is equal to 0, you will get minus 2, 0 here, right? And then the one. How about this? Same gradient, positive gradient only, but the y-intercept is minus. That is the difference between both, which means y-intercept is below the x axis, then gradient plus. So, this is 0, minus 8, and this would be 2, 0. This is x axis, y axis. Same way about this. Both are negative gradients. At the same time, the y-intercept for the third one here is plus 8. So, the plus 8 in the sense, it will be above the x axis, and the line is like this. 0, 8, and here it is 2, 0. In that case, the other one minus 4x minus 8, negative gradient still, y-intercept is below the x axis. So, that is 0, minus 8. At the same time, the gradient is minus So, a small idea to recap the content of sketching the line stuff there. This is actually a very important idea to work out, all right. So, we will go to the next thing. Parallel lines and perpendicular lines, how about that? Parallel lines and perpendicular lines, you can see the parallel lines in the sense I can even draw L1, these two lines are parallel. Let us assume this is L1, this is L2. The gradients of the lines are equal. The next perpendicular lines, the angle is 90 degree here, L1 and L2. M1 is the gradient of L1 and M2 is the gradient of L2. Then the product of the gradient is -1. In other words, M2 is equal to -1 by M. That is a gradient of the second line. Some example is there. You could see here the gradient is 2, here the gradient is minus of. You multiply these two, you will get -1. In that case, you will get a 90 degree. For a perpendicular lines L1 and L2, the gradient of the line 2 is negative reciprocal. What is it actually? The short way you will see. Let us take about two lines are perpendicular. How do I identify the perpendicular line gradients? If first line gradient is 2, the next line would be negative reciprocal -1/2. So, what is the point here? Easy to catch up. Here one is positive means one is negative, and this is a negative reciprocal. Now, let us take about another line gradient as -3. Its perpendicular line would be negative reciprocal in the sense 1/3. Let us say 4/3 is the first line gradient, the perpendicular line gradient. So, what about the next line? It would be -3/4. So, these examples will give you a rough idea regarding how do I easily identify the gradients, but remember that the equation format should be in y is equal to mx plus c to work out. Okay. So, simple questions will start, which is actually a January 2019 paper. A line passes through, line L passes through the points A, which is 5, -2 and B 1, 10. Find the equation of line L, writing your answer in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So, note that the format is y is equal to mx plus c, and they have said as m and c are the constants. So, they have not specifically said it as integer or whatever it is. So, work out that point. See here, the gradient of the line. To form an equation of line, you should know the gradient and y intercept, or else we can use another format. Gradient of the line AB, that is, I take this as x1, this as y1 and x2, y2. So, 10 minus of -2 divided by 1 minus 5. So, 12 by -4 -3 is a gradient. And how can I form an equation of line? That is the formula we have been using, y minus y1 equal to m into x minus x1. So, y1 is, I am taking this point as x1 y1. So, y minus y1 equal to m into x minus x1, you get the line equation. It is actually a 3 marks, something else like that. So, in that case, it is easy to work it out. Probably this question, even if it is a 3 marks, you could finish this question in 1 minute if you are strong on this concept, so that you could save some time on the other questions. Second one, the line L1 has the equation 3x plus 5y minus 7, 3x plus 5y minus 7 equal to 0. Gradient of L1. Gradient of L1 in the sense, here the point is what? You have to make y is equal to mx plus c format. By that way only you could easily identify. That means 5y is equal to 3x to the other side minus 7 to the other side. So, y is equal to minus 3x by 5 7 by 5. So here the question is to find the gradient of L1 only. So gradient of L1 is actually minus 3 by 5. The next, the line L2 is perpendicular to L1 and passes through the point 6 comma minus 2. Find the equation of L2 in the form of y is equal to mx plus c, again where m and c are constants. So then how? Don't try to work out mentally some area. Some of the kids may use to directly find the gradient as like that, but try to show it. L1, I am considering m1 is the gradient, which we got it as minus 3 by 5. L2, line 2, gradient is m2. We know already it is a negative reciprocal, so 5 by 3. Then directly you can go for the equation of line. Equation of line 2, equation of L2 formula. Always writing down the formula is worth every time, because you don't need to separately memorize the formulas. Whenever you write a question, work out a question, it is better to write the formula so that unknowingly you are memorizing the formulas. So here the point is given as 6 comma minus 2. So y1 is minus 2, gradient is 5 by 3, x minus 6. Here I prefer to do the cross multiplication, not to remove the bracket and simplify as a fractions. So this is y plus 2, you take over 3 to this side, 5x minus 30. So 3y plus 6 is equal to 5x minus 30, 3y is equal to 5x minus 36, 5x by 3 minus 36 by 3, so 5x minus 12 is the equation of L2, which is given in the L2, that is y is equal to mx c plus c format. So these two questions are a bit easy questions. Look at that, it is 5 marks. So while working out, time factor maximum 5 minutes you can take. Even 5 minutes is a bit slow, I should say. Once you are strong on the basics, I think you can easily finish in 2 minutes time. Yeah, another question. It's a big question which has got more subdivisions. It has got A, B, C, D, 4 subdivisions, the marks 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6 plus 2, 8 marks basically, it is already mentioned at the bottom. A part, find the equation of a line 7, 4 and 2, 0, 2 points in the A, x plus by plus c format as integers. Next, length of AB, both are easy known content. C and D are the point C has coordinates 2, t, where t is greater than 0. That's a keyword here. And AC is equal to AB. Find the value of t, that is 1 mark. Find the area of triangle. So doing a question like this, the subdivision, if you have the idea of drawing the line and drawing the the area, drawing the triangle, it will be an added advantage for you guys. So start up with the first part. Equation of line, that is point A 7, 4, point B 2, 0. First I need to find what I need to find? I need to find the gradient. Let's say I am putting a subheading like this, gradient of AB. I am taking it as m. So m is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, that is minus 4 by minus 5, which is 4 by 5. All right, the first part. Then equation of line AB, writing the formula is worth, I said, as m into x minus x1. So I prefer to take any point I can take for passing through point. I prefer to take 2 comma 0 because the calculation would be easy for us. So I will write beside the point. It is always advisable for you to write the required content in that particular subdivision, because if you are dealing with a question that has got more subdivisions and more informations, the confusion may come up while answering it. So, so y minus y1 is equal to gradient is 4 by 5 x minus 2. The format is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. So cross multiply, 2y is equal to 4x minus 8, y is equal to 4x by, directly you could take over it, 7 comma 4 2 comma 0, yes. So directly you can take it as what here, okay, that will be 2x minus 4 like that. All right. Next part, find the length of AB. Length of AB formula, length formula is square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So what next? So x2 minus x1, 2 minus 7 the whole square plus y2 minus y1, 0 minus 4 square. So root of 2 minus 5 square, which is 25, plus 16, that will be root of 41. I think the question is also asked in leaving the answer in the surd form, so I can leave it like that. So A and B are a bit straightforward part. What about the C? The point C has coordinates 2 comma t and t is greater than 0. So it is not a direct part of the question. So let us try to draw the diagram of that. The point C has coordinates 2 comma t. At the same time, you have AC is equal to AB. So let us try to note down the points, this subdivision. A is 7 comma 4 and then B is 2 comma 0, C is 2 comma t. So t is a positive value. So how do I mark it here? And remember, see that the mark is actually 1 mark, not much of the calculation is needed. People may be confused about how to answer that part of only 1 mark, but if you try to work out by the calculation method, it takes a lot of time. So always the diagram method will be helpful. So let us try to draw the x-axis, y-axis. This is x-axis, y-axis, and then what? A is 7 comma 4, that is noted here. Let us take A is 7 comma 4 here, and B 2 comma 0. Significance of the point B is 2 comma 0, it is on the x-axis. So let us take the x-axis point like here B, which is 2 comma 0. There is a clue given in this question. What about the point C? Point C has coordinates 2 comma t. 2 comma t and 2 comma 0. How can I identify it? X coordinate is same. That means x coordinate may be alright. Then next, C can be down also, but since they have restricted the t to the positive value, t is greater than 0, I don't need to draw down. The next, you try to draw the triangle. Okay, so that means next point is what? AC is equal to AB. That means AC is equal to AB, which means what? Isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle in the sense two sides are equal. After that, Two sides of equal, will it give any shortcut idea? No. You try to draw the perpendicular bisector from A to the opposite side. This would be the perpendicular bisector, which means this length and this length would be equal. So then what? Next what? So how do I know this value? If whatever the value we get, the same value for this part. What about this? That is y coordinate. Y coordinate is 4. So this is 4, which means this part is also 4. So totally 8. So t is equal to 8. So the question is only to find the t, not to write as a point. Anyway, we will note down that point. This is the working. Don't think about, sir, I have not shown any working on the question, but the diagram is the working. One more point, while you are doing these questions, when you are drawing the diagrams in the paper, please don't erase the diagrams. Keep the diagram as it is, because that is actually a one important point. The examiner will try to understand that you know something on that. Whether your method may go, some working may go wrong, but the diagram is there, it will be an added advantage for you. So the next point, area of the triangle, half into 8 into base, I can take it as this, then this is 7 and this is 2, that will be 5. So you will get 20 square units. That is the thing. So hope this point is clear to you. The diagram is very important while doing it. So possible ways of questions in this chapter, it can be asked in differentiation, it can be asked in a purely straightforward manner like this. It can be clubbed up with the differentiation questions, or it can be clubbed up with the integration. In these areas, the sub-questions may be onto the equation of tangent and normal. Points to remember and practice. Time factor is one important issue. While doing the questions, please use stop clocks to practice it, so you know your speed. Continue to practice with the stop clock, will help you your strong areas in your weak areas, so that you can balance and you can learn. Especially big questions, 4 to 5 subdivisions, sometimes while answering the questions, last two part may be hard, like the questions what we have done. But in that case, you need some space for thinking. So what you can do? You can skip those part and you can go to the next question and work it out, and you can come back later and then you can answer. But you don't start these ideas in exams. You start practicing while you are doing for the exams. Okay, the practice sessions, you should start like that. Hope this lesson is clear for you guys. Basically, this is a revision area only. Most of you have already completed the syllabus and you are practicing on revisions, revising the questions. We will be coming back in the panel discussions regarding more different questions. But remember about the main points which I shared. We'll see. Thank you.